Hey guys, ThropDead here, and today I'm going to be looking at a game called A.R.E.S. or A.R.E.S. A.R.E.S. Extinction Agenda. It is a side-scrolling shooting game. Um, let's just jump into. This is the second level. I have finished the game. I have unlocked all the weapons, all 4 weapons, and I do have unlimited grenades, which obviously makes the game a bit easier once you play through it once. There are only 2 difficulty levels. There's medium and hard. Hard is the level it's supposed to be played at. Medium is far too easy. I played through the game on hard up to the final boss, where I had to change the medium, and found that medium was so much easier than hard. It is pretty relatively decent game. It is let down by its platforming. The controls aren't quite as responsive as you would hope. It's like double jump isn't quite as responsive, and you do often die because the character doesn't go exactly where you're expecting it to. Like falling off edges and stuff. There's one bit where there's a boss that chases you up a series of platforms, and I found that one very difficult and frustrating to do, not because I was incompetent, although it was probably partly that, but because the controls weren't as fluid as you would come to expect from a side-scrolling platformer. Like I say, there are 4 different weapons. They're all pretty similar. This is the one you start with. This is a single shot one. Then you've got this one which fires a lot quicker but does a lot less damage. Then you've got this one which actually goes through walls, so you can stand underneath it and shoot through walls. And then there's this one which is an AoE effect. As you can see there, enemies do have a tendency of respawning pretty much as soon as they leave the area and then go back again. It does mean you can farm these materials in the top right hand corner there. Not well that time. Those materials are used to create medkits and grenades if you press select, so you can actually build some grenades and stuff. Or they can be used to upgrade your weapons, or upgrade your grenades. I don't know if there's supposed to be something in that gap there. Maybe there's a weapon I've not found yet. There is a story to the game, which is actually a pretty decent story for a 2-hour game, about aliens wanting to destroy humans, basically. There is some replayability in the game as well, despite it's only 2 hours long. But if you look back in here, you've got these different stages, 5 different stages, and you get ranked on each. And the harder difficulty, you can get higher marks. Sorry. So there is some replayability. Like I say, I wouldn't recommend it though, and the reason I wouldn't recommend it is because there has been a remake called A.R.E.S. Extinction Agenda EX, which is essentially the same game. It's got the same 5 levels in. I think they've added a couple levels, and they've fixed a lot of problems I have with the game. Have actually apparently been fixed in the expansion. So if you're thinking of looking into this sort of game, then I would recommend checking out the remake. They're both priced $6.99, although if you own this game, the remake is half price, 50% off on Steam. It's a short game. I'd say it's a short game, but for $6.99 there are worse games you could buy. All the enemies are relatively like, I guess by the numbers. There's nothing really unique about this game. And there are better side-scrolling games out there, but it's not a bad game to be playing. So especially if you get the remake. So yeah, I would tentatively recommend it. Although I think EX is supposed to be a much better, much more improved experience, which is probably the one I would suggest you get. I think that's all I need to say about the game. I'm not going to get to fight a boss here, but I'm sure you can imagine what they look like. Actually, maybe I'll record it and then edit this bit out and then run forward to the nearest boss, because the boss fights are a bit interesting. Okay, I've made it to the boss fight. I'll just skip that bit so I can show you something a bit more interesting about the game. Fighting this giant metal snake thing. I'd say it's a pretty generic boss fight. And with it on normal, you can take quite a beating before there's any real damage to you. Some different weapons as well. I'd say all the weapons are fairly similar, so they can be a bit boring to play with. There's the damage. Not actually doing damage when it's doing that. It's destroying the end blocks, making the arena a bit smaller. So it's a pretty standard boss fight for this sort of game. You just watch his towers go through different phases. Try and do the last little bit of damage to it. There we go, and we've destroyed it. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you wanna, I'm gonna move on to a game that next game on my list. I'm not entirely sure how to pronounce, but I think it's something like fully awesome. And so we're gonna go on to that one next. If you want to watch me play it live, you can follow me over on Twitch, where I stream most mornings during the week, and or you can subscribe to me here on YouTube and then watch each video as they're uploaded. Thanks again for watching, and until next time, have a good day.